Hey, I'm Midday, and I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about army piercing today. Right now, for the US server, we only have it in one dungeon, Nightmare Realm, but I thought it might be worth breaking down how it works for when we see it more in the future. You'll have to excuse my video quality here as I'm brand new to actually editing video, but it should be good enough to illustrate how it works. Army Piercing is a new stat that breaks blood armor. You'll see it on the bosses as a yellow bar above their red HP bar. Without Army Piercing, you won't be able to touch the blood armor at all, and you'll do negligible damage to the boss's HP, so you do need some, but the question is how much? Your Army Piercing stat is the amount of damage you can do to the blood shield per second, assuming you can keep up a constant assault. For this video, I've got my S20 bow on the left and S7 whip in the middle, both with 18 Army Piercing. On the right, I have my S20 bow again with 33 Army Piercing, which isn't the cap, but it's enough to illustrate the difference. I have them synced so the timer starts from the frame where the entering combat warning appears on the bosses. My 33 bow takes down the 450 point blood armor shield first in just over 15 seconds, which works out to 29.34 damage to the blood shield per second. Bow loses out on jump casting and auto attacks while charging, so it's hard to get full potential out of all 33 Army Piercing and keep charge stacks. For 18 whip and 18 bow, I was being more careful to avoid charging and keep up on attacks, so my rates were 17.82 and 17.71 respectively. I was basically able to make full use of all my 18 Army Piercing. My whip isn't really built, so I'll just speed that along here, and in the meantime let's talk sources. The first and easiest source in my opinion is your armor and weapons. Fortifying gold and orange armor at S level 5 and above to plus 30 will get you 2 Army Piercing each for a total of 14. Your second easiest source is costumes. You can reroll between 1 and 5 Army Piercing per costume piece for a maximum of 25, but there's no fast way to swap all 5 if you need to move back to your normal costume once the shield is down, so it may not be ideal to use all 5 costumes as Army Piercing. Your third source is reshuffling your Holy Spirit. That's the gear you can get by doing Divine Trial, and you can reroll 2 to 5 on it. Wouldn't recommend it though, your other stats are more useful on there. A fourth source would be the Nightmare Certificate from Nightmare Ancient Cliff Temple. It will net you a buff of plus 3 Army Piercing when attacking. That's the toughest Nightmare dungeon we have at time of recording and is currently solo only, so it won't be possible for most players. A fifth source is re-rolling your Anima Crystal with a Crystal Liberation Wheel. You can get a buff similar to the Nightmare Certificate for 3, 6, or 9 Army Piercing, though this is only for 10 seconds. Your final source for now would be the Eidolon Archive. The 3 and 4 star archives for Abe no Seimei and Tsukuyomi will get you 2 and 4 Army Piercing for a total of 6, and then the Nekomata and Tsubaki archive will get you a 3 and 6 for a total of 9. So as it stands, the absolute cap Army Piercing you could have is 71, but there's no reason to go that high. Now, here in the second fight, we have basically the exact same results as this boss has the same 450 point shield. My bow 33 time is just under a second faster, the difference being how many times I decided to charge. My whip got my best potential out of all 3 runs here with a 17.97 damage per second done to the blood armor for a 99.8% potential. Basically, when it comes down to deciding how much Army Piercing to bring to the fight, you just need to divide the shield value against your Army Piercing to find out the fastest possible shield break time. The final boss of Nightmare Realm has 600 blood armor, so if you had 60 Army Piercing, the absolute fastest possible time to break the shield would be 10 seconds, with 30, 20 seconds, and with 15, 40 seconds. As with all stats, diminishing returns means that past a certain point the amount of time saved won't be worth the cost of improving that stat. For example, 14 Army Piercing, the amount you can get from fortifying gear alone, puts your time at 42.86 seconds, so 1 more point in Army Piercing would save, at best, 2.86 seconds on a 600 point shield, compared to 31 Army Piercing, which only brings it down to 19.35 seconds. Compared to 30, you haven't even saved 1 second of time. Keep in mind this is just the ideal fastest break time. With a slow attacking class like bow, you may see efficiency as low as 90%. Also, bosses can regenerate their shield. For this dungeon, you have 15 seconds on the first 2, but only 5 on the last one, so you still need to take down the boss quickly once you have the shield down, or you'll be starting the timer again. This is one reason why you might still want to charge bow shots and keep your stacks capped, but all classes should use the shield time to build up buffs so they can go all out once it's down. And finally, specific to Reinhardt here, you'll need to beat him within 60 seconds, so my final answer for how much Army Piercing you need, minimum, for this dungeon, is 12. That puts your minimum break time at 50 seconds plus 5 seconds to kill once the shield is down, so you have a bit of a buffer. But if your armor and weapons are all at plus 30, you shouldn't have any issues. So here we are at the final fight. This one takes a little bit longer than the other ones because again, the blood shield has got 600 points instead of 450. My 33 bow picks up its best efficiency yet, with 31.32 per second. Meanwhile, the other two take their own sweet time, about 15 seconds longer at around 35 seconds each. My 18 bow actually passes my 18 whip here, proving it's all down to keeping up the constant attacks, even if you've got a slow attacking class. Nightmare Realm is a great dungeon to get your hands on stuff that used to be pretty limited, for example advanced fortification scrolls, as well as some stuff that still doesn't drop anywhere else. Holy Spirit restructuring and stat shuffle stones, plus the new Anima Crystal stat shuffles and Holy Spirit upgrade formulas. I hope this will help you farm more efficiently, and good luck on drops. If you'd like to see any more visual comparisons, let me know here or in Discord. That's all for today.